Can you believe the school year is almost over?
Yeah, this one was a crazy year, so much to do. But there's one thing left.
What's that, more exams?
No, we have one last KWN special to send us off into summer.
This is going to be a good one. Check it out. It's hard to believe we're on the road to Pride Month. Buckle in this segment by Morgan Britt and check out how it began and why representation is important.
Recognize this flag? This variety in colors? At this point in time, they should look very familiar to you, as we are now well into Pride Month since it's early June. For the LGBTQ community, supporters, and allies, June is a month in which groups of gender identity can discuss issues, their views on sexuality, experiences, and more. But how exactly did Pride Month start? Why is it that June became Pride Month? And moreover, how have attitudes towards gender identity and acceptance towards different sexualities developed over time in media, in history, and beyond? Some of you may know, I'm Morgan Britt from Kid Witness News, and in this video, I intend to get a little bit of background on Pride Month and find the origins behind representation and sexuality over time. To begin, let's go back to the year 1969. During this time, homosexual relations were outlawed by law, so gay bars were often targeted by police officers who arrested people unfairly and often shut them down. Stonewall, in particular, was a very popular gay bar where many LGBTQ groups often gathered to socialize and mingle and be themselves. So, on June 28, 1969, police officers entered the scene and began clearing out the bar due to the alcohol not being licensed and because groups were considered to not be wearing gender-appropriate clothing. The employees and people were unfairly arrested in this event. But at some point, the crowd grew restless and began fighting against the police officers by throwing debris, starting fires, and generally not leaving the bar. 1 week passed and eventually the crowd had to leave. But this moment caused a big impact on gay rights as it began many organizations from the inspiration of this event and started a lot of gay rights movements and protests, increasing in attendance as the years went by. Harvey Milk is considered one of the most influential LGBTQ political figures. He was the first openly gay man to be elected as politician in California. After the Stonewall riots, he officially became a part of the LGBTQ community and began championing protests and rallies. One of his most prominent protests before being assassinated in 1978 was a strike against the Coors Beer Company. The Coors Brewing Company was taking advantage of gay bars and transporting beer. Milk sided with a group called the Teamsters and started a campaign asking for gay alliance, help, and release newspapers. Second important action he took was going against the Briggs Initiative, which was basically legislation that was meant to be passed in order to stop LGBTQ teachers from working in California schools. But he went against this legislation on TV, debated against it, and it lost by 1 million votes. Another very important LGBTQ role filled in during this time was taken in by Brenda Howard, a bisexual feminist activist who played an important role in the LGBTQ community by starting the first New York City public gay march. This was a huge success as thousands of people joined from the streets. She also established a bisexual telephone line, which basically informed many people about upcoming events and so forth in the LGBTQ community. A third example of activism can be found with Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera in 1972. They established a shelter for homeless trans kids to provide food, clothing, and support for anyone living nearby as well. Johnson and Rivera also contributed to marches for a year until they were almost banned by a committee for being drag queens. But as a response, they marched ahead of the parade and continued on. So it's pretty safe to say that the street transvestite action revolutionaries had a massive impact on LGBTQ culture when it came to drag. For our last example, let's flash forward to the early 1980s. Audre Lorde, an American writer and feminist civil rights activist and so on, in 1980 started a lot of organizations for protecting women of color as well as women in the LGBTQ community. She founded the Women of Color Press that made sure that these issues were expressed and that homophobia as well as racism was fought. By 1985, she traveled to Cuba with other female Black writers in order to discuss the revolution and whether or not it had impacted the status of lesbians and gays in Cuba. So to wrap things up, let's tie back to the question in the beginning of the video. How exactly has the culture of LGBTQ representation tied into our society? One way is through integrating knowledge of LGBTQ advocation and activists, such as the ones I mentioned earlier, into schools before it ends. Because since Pride Month is in June, school's already over by the time it's midway through. So it can be difficult for teachers to educate students on the importance of the month as a whole. So there are other days of remembrance too. Like in April, there's a day of silence. Or in May 22nd, there's Harvey Milk Day to remember Harvey Milk, the first openly gay politician. There's also May 17th, which is the day against homophobia, biphobia, transphobia, which also leads to a spread of awareness on how there is still hatred for these groups and how it's unwarranted. So to conclude, there is a long string of events in history, such as riots and activism and writings in the newspaper to spread awareness for the LGBTQ community to be treated as any heterosexual. There's a long string of events in history that led to the normalization of LGBTQ community and Pride Month, which we celebrate now. So it's really important to keep in mind that all of this happened through the strength of multiple types of people. It wasn't just white gay men. It wasn't just white gay women. There were bisexual activists, there were trans activists, and so on. There's a lot of groups that are still fighting for their rights in different parts of the world, such as Iran. Many queer activists were exiled from their country. So it's important to keep in mind that the US is not the only place where people of all gender identities should be included. And that's why June is Pride Month and why we should continue celebrating it.
Thank you for that amazing report, Morgan.
Hey, do you know one of the greatest things the high school offers to the 7th and 8th graders?
I don't know, what?
Field Day. Check out this report by Jacob Arroyo on the big day called Field Day.
I'm here at the wonderful Field Day right by the Long Jump Station. And here's my beautiful report about what Field Day is.
It's an amazing day. Kids are having fun. We got our food trucks here. What could be better? Township manager Giovanni Daniel Ahmad. He was just checking out the yuca fries. I think he's about to go dip in himself.
Looking for some Cubanos.
There we go.
I've seen what's happening here today. We are breaking high jump records out here. Not that one.
This is what we pay him for. Rules for tug of war. That's it. Tug of war.
Make sure
5-year-olds figure this out on their own. You pick up the rope, you pull the rope.
That's not the rules, Mr. Samurai. We gotta.
It's a great day. It's 7th and 8th graders, as we all know. And this is the type of facility we never had. We've had it now for approximately 18 to 20 years. And it's good to have everybody outside enjoying themselves with
As you see the children walking by, field day has now ended. However, this will not be the last field day, especially as COVID-19 restrictions are starting to be lifted. I'm Jacob Roy. Let's go back to the desk.
That was a great segment, Jacob.
By the way, did you catch Weehawken's awesome all-district concert? No? Well then check out these highlights. It was a jam-packed night of music. On May 31st, 14 Weehawken High School and middle school students went on a really neat field trip. This was the beginning of the Weehawken High School Fishing Club. Check out their 3-hour tour on the Royal Miss Belmar fishing charter boat.
So, Alana, how long does your dad own this boat?
It's been in our family for 85 years. He's been working on it since he was 11.
Wow, that's super cool. Let's see. How about you? How often do you fish?
In the summer, I come out like every day.
Now, are you fishing or working?
Both.
Both? Do you think you're a good first mate?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's awesome. Do you ever cook in the galley?
Sometimes, yeah.
That's good fun. What do you think? We're gonna have a good day?
It's gonna be absolutely.
Fingers crossed. But yes,
For sure.
It's already a better day than teaching.
Yeah. Shh, don't say that. Don't say that. We're on camera. What's that? It's absolutely going. What's up? What's up? Some people just know how to relax.
You're on camera.
Morning, everybody. Welcome aboard the Royal Miss Belmar. My name's Johnny. I'll be running the boat for you today. You got 4 mates on deck. You got Billy, Pete, you got Eric, Rebecca, and Phil. Okay.
How long you been doing this?
Been doing this for 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 30 years, all with Alan Shin on this boat.
Oh.
And yeah, really, you know, born and raised in Belmar. Started working on the charter boats when I was probably 12, 13 years old.
Tell me, what's great about having the kids come out, especially the young ones?
Oh, the smiles. You know, it's the little things, and the fishing brings out the little things for the kids. They get to smile, they get to laugh, they enjoy it. So without a doubt, you know, the little kids make, and even the old timers too. Everybody smiles when they're catching a fish. So
right,
it's a good, carefree way to spend the day.
Now, would you also call it an investment in the future? Kids fall in love with it?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, you start them young, you cultivate, you know, a love for the sport, a love for the ocean, and it carries on, you know, it continues on. And that's why I'm still doing it, you know, that's what happened with me when I was a young kid. So
oh, yeah.
We try to do it and encourage all the young kids to get out here and get involved and just get outside, you know, enjoy the nature.
For sure. Miss Perry, you having a good time?
What an enjoyable day.
Everybody's catching fish. Kai, you having a good time?
Yeah, loving it.
Guys, can you catch a fish for the camera real quick?
I got you.
Seems to believe it.
got my right. There's the guy right here. There's the hog. Oh, 1 ounce. One ounce. No, not yet. Unless you put a weight in it. No. See the bowling ball. Hey, it's Pete. From you.
That must have been an amazing trip. We should join that club.
Next up, we have an exclusive interview with Weehawken High School Principal, Mr. Ferrullo.
We are here with Mr. Ferrullo, and we're going to be discussing some possible changes and things to look forward to next year. So first of all, Mr. Ferrullo, how do you think this year went?
I think it was a good year. The adjustment for a lot of the students coming back, especially the students coming from Roosevelt, took a little bit of time. But I think as the year progressed, they seemed to show some growth and maturity. For the upperclassmen, obviously it wasn't an easy year. But I think once things kind of lightened up COVID-wise, we were able to do a lot more, especially recently where we're really trying to do trips now and plan for the seniors for graduation and get all our awards dinners. So overall, I think it went well.
I definitely agree. And are there going to be any changes we can look forward to next year?
Hopefully a full year of no COVID. That would be a great change. I mean, it seems like it's been forever that we always have to worry about this. Improvement in our enrollment in our sports programs, which would be better. I know a lot of people were concerned, so it did take a little bit away from the numbers we normally have. We are considering bringing in a flight simulator for the students to take classes in. They wouldn't get certified in it, but they would be trained in what the test would be like. So that's something we're looking forward to. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty big stuff.
I'm also hearing rumors about two other things. Scanning into the bathrooms and a Starbucks in the cafeteria. What do you think of those rumors?
I like those rumors. I'm not a Starbucks person myself. I'm not a coffee guy. I don't need that kind of extra push. But I think the kids, judging by how many come in with coffee in the morning, I think they'll like it. And scanning into the bathrooms is a way so that it's more of a way to keep track of who's going in. Also an idea of what's going on in the bathrooms as well, because it seems that thanks to TikTok, we had a little bit more use of our bathrooms that we wouldn't have liked.
Definitely. And finally, what would you like to say to the seniors who are leaving now?
You know, this was the first group that I started with as vice principal, so we kind of started together. I've known a lot of them since they were younger. It's going to be different without them. I'm going to miss them, and I wish them the best of luck. You guys are always going to be part of the family, and no matter where you are, you know, you'll always have a home here.
Well, this was our interview with Mr. Ferrullo, and I will see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.
Mr. Ferrullo always has something important to say. He's a great leader.
Is it quite the shocker that school is about to end? However, it is still fun to look at all the important events that happened this year. Anywho, please enjoy this look back on this year.
What a fun and interesting year it was. So sad it's finished, but we're really looking forward to next year, when we'll be back with bigger hits, new celebrity interviews, and really cool segments that will blow your mind.
From everyone on the Weehawken High School Kid Witness News team, we would like to say thank you for watching.
I'm Eliana Fanders.
And I'm JP Rodriguez.
Have a great summer. See you all in September.